Hello friends, so welcome to factorygyan.com and Factorygyan YouTube channel. So today we will be discussing the various parts of a factory. In our previous video, we had discussed about the organization structure of a factory, who all are the people required to run a factory, because people is the first thing you should be keeping ready, because people are the resources which makes everything happens. So team people, they are the most important part of your project. So now let's discuss about the various parts of a factory. Various parts of a factory includes a lot of components, and I have listed down them all of here in this slide and in the coming slide. But let's discuss each component in detail. So the first component is a meter room. So in meter room, what happens that there is a meter, electrical meter, where the electrical supply is coming, and there is a CT, PT, basically current transformer and potential transformer, which are installed so that the metering can be done that how much electricity you have consumed. Generally, this meter room is constructed very near to your boundary wall so that the government authorities can come and check the meter at any moment of time. So that's why it is constructed very close to the boundary wall. Next area is a transformer area. This is the area where the electricity department is supplying the power to you in very high voltage, like 11,000 volt or 33,000 volt. But inside your factory, you will be requiring only 240 volt or 440 volts of supply. So that's why you will have to convert it into the required voltage, and there comes the transformer area. So generally, most of the factories will be having a transformer area. Then next is the electrical panel room. So this is also called as a LT panel room, low tension panel room, where your electrical panels are installed. So this is the main control panel from where the electrical supply to various sections inside the factory are controlled. So you can decide which section you have to supply the electricity and which sections not. So that is being done through the electrical panel room. So you should be aware about this important component inside a battery. The next area is a generator area. So you can have a main generator, standby generator, you can have a diesel generator, gas generator, but this is basically required as a power backup equipment because the electricity board supply may not be reliable and you might be getting the power cuts from time to time. So that's why there might be some power cuts from time to time, and hence you need an emergency power backup which is provided by the generator. Then next comes the overall water management. So right from the water withdrawal, which is done through the borewell, or if it is a water supply by the local authority, then it will be through a pipeline. But that's very rare in India, and most of the people get the water through the borewell. So you will be having a borewell room, which will be well maintained, and you will be maintaining it properly. Then that water will be going to a water treatment plant because the water which comes from the borewell is not cannot be directly used in the production process. So you have to either pass it through a softener plant or RO plant, which is reverse osmosis plant. Some processes required a TM plant. So like that, various kind of requirements are there. So according to that requirement, you would treat it into your water treatment plant. Then, when you have used the water, after that it will be going to a wastewater treatment plant where you will be treating this water before discharging it into the environment. So, as per your consent from the Pollution Control Board, you might discharge it after treatment into the green area, or you might have to have your zero liquid discharge plant, ZLD plant, where you have to evaporate all your wastewater, and you cannot basically throw any water in the environment. So that kind of arrangement depends upon your consent from the pollution control board. The next is the green area, park area. So even as per the various laws, you cannot construct on 100% of your land area. So you have to keep aside some green area even as per legal requirement, and otherwise also uh, for maintaining greenery for beautiful looks. as well as in case if you have permission to discharge your wastewater on the green area, then there also the green area will be helping you. So that's why green area is very helpful in most of the cases. Then you need to have a rainwater harvesting pond or a pit. uh, as per the national building code and other requirements nowadays, you need to have a rainwater harvesting pond, so that whatever rainwater is falling inside your factory, you can divert it into this rainwater harvesting ponds and ultimately into the rainwater harvesting pits, which will be sending this water directly under the ground, so that your water table can be maintained. So this is a very good initiative from environment point of view, and everybody should consider it in the design stage. After that comes the boiler house. So one more thing to be discussed here is all these equipments like electrical equipment and water treatment and all other boiler, etc., etc. So all these things collectively or are called as utilities in any factories, and you would have also heard about the names as utility manager. So it is basically the manager who will be taking care of all these utility equipment is called as a utility manager. Yeah. So next in the list is line item number 10, which is a boiler house. So in case you are having any heating requirements, then you will be requiring a boiler, or some of the people are also using hot water generators. But yeah, those kind of equipments are placed in one centralized location, and from there either the hot water is supplied or the steam is supplied. So hence, boiler house is maintained. Generally, a boiler house will also be having a chimney associated with it. So you can see, generally the factories are in fact characterized by the tall chimneys, and that gives a bad impression also, that generally chimneys are shown with a lot of smoke and pollution, but that's not the case. Nowadays, the pollution control board norms are very strict, and nowadays, a lot of advanced equipments are available. So, because of which the pollution being created by the industries is very less nowadays. Next in the line is a firehouse. So, every factory need to have firefighting equipment, which includes a diesel pump, electrical pump, jockey pump, etc., and a fire hydrant system, fire sprinkler systems, and these fire hydrant pipelines need to be maintained with some level of water pressure all the time, as per the local fire rules as well as the national building code. Hence, there has to be a firehouse in every factory. Then line item number 12 is AHU room. So there can be a AHU room separately in a factory, or the AHUs can be kept segregated. It all depends upon the design. But you will find that some of the pharmaceutical factories or the food factories will be having a separate AHU room, and through which the air will be supplied to various areas inside the factory. Then next line item number 3 is air compressor room. So air compressor is equipment which generates air at a high pressure, which is required at a lot of places inside the factory for operating the pneumatic equipment. So you would have heard a lot of pneumatic valves, pneumatic cylinders. In fact, complete machineries are available which runs on compressed air. So you will be finding these compressed air rooms in various factories. Then there will be refrigeration room. So this refrigeration system can be ammonia-based refrigeration system or freon-based refrigeration system. It can be centralized system. It can be decentralized system. But yeah, wherever you need to maintain the cold rooms, etc., up to a temperature of minus 18 degrees centigrade or minus 40 degrees centigrade, then for all those cold rooms, you will be requiring the refrigeration rooms. Yeah, where you will be having the refrigeration compressors available. Then some of the processes required a chilled water, a lot of chilled water. So you can have a separate dedicated chilled water room where all the screw compressors and yaw compressors, etc., will be available, which will be generating the chilled water, and then you will be supplying it all across the factory. And you can have the chillers, water chillers, even near to the production plant or near to the machinery also, if the size is not that big. Then you will find the cooling towers. So cooling towers are required as a sub-component for the chilled water system or the AHU system, or even as a standalone equipment for direct use in the processes also. So you will find a lot of cooling towers will be installed inside the factories. Then you will be having the fuel storage yard. It can be a diesel storage yard in case your generator is a diesel operated generator, or uh, it can be a it can be a gas storage yard, it can be a firewood storage yard, or it can be a briquette storage yard because a lot of boilers require this fuel, which includes firewood or briquette, etc. So yes, different type of fuel storage yards might be required in a factory. Then comes the main area, which is actually the majority area of the factory, which includes the warehouse and production area and the bulk storage tanks. So this is basically the area where the production activities are happening. So in warehouse, you receive the raw material and then you store it. Similarly, after the production is over, you store the finished goods in your FG godown. Combining both RMPM and FG go down is collectively called as a warehouse. Then you might be requiring a lot of cold rooms because some of the materials might be requiring storage conditions of less than 5 degree, less than minus 18 degree, less than minus 40 degree, less than 25 degrees. So yeah, so generally, less than 25 degrees is not considered as a cold room, but less than 5 degree, less than minus 18 degree, and less than minus 40 degree is considered to be the cold room. So which need to be prepared dedicatedly. It might be a subset of the warehouse itself, or it might be constructed separately also. Then comes the main production area. So, production area in case of manufacturing of vehicles can be assembly line, and in case of batch processing or other production processes, it can be a non-assembly line also. But you might find it to be a cell kind of production layout, or you might find it to be a linear kind of production layout, or you might find assembly line. So depending upon the type of product which you are making, the production area might have different layouts. Then comes the bulk storage tanks. So in a lot of processes, you might be requiring the raw material which is in liquid stage. So you might like to store it in the big storage tanks of 30,000 liter capacity, or even bigger than that. Which includes, like in case of cosmetics manufacturing, components like SLES, sodium lauryl ether sulfate, or SLS, sodium lauryl sulfate. In case of food manufacturing, it can be edible oil. In case of cold drink manufacturing, it can be carbon dioxide, which is stored in a liquid form, and that tank is actually called as a CO2 bullet because it is a horizontal storage tanks actually, and it can also be a vertical storage tank also. Yeah, so those bulk storage tanks are also an important component of many factories. Then you need to make change rooms or locker rooms where people, once they have entered inside the factory, they will be changing their street clothes or home clothes, and they will be wearing their uniform. So for that purpose, you need to provide the change rooms or the locker rooms. The line item 23 is the quality lab. So you need to make quality labs for your in for testing of your raw materials. Then in process testing quality labs can be there, and finished product testing labs can be there. So these labs can also be made separately in a dedicated area, or these labs can also be made as a online labs near to the production area. Then every factory need to have administrative office uh, where the staff will be sitting, administrative staff will be sitting, like human resource department, finance department, in some cases marketing department, import export department. So all these people will be sitting in the administrative office, and some of the managers also, including factory manager and the Production team members' office is generally made on the production floor itself, but remaining support staff will be sitting in the administrative office. Then you need to provide a canteen for having the food so that various people can have their lunch, dinner, breakfast, etc. Tea during the tea break. So you need to have a canteen. Then you should keep space for scrap yards because every factory generates different type of scrap, which includes carton scrap, metal scrap, plastic scrap, uh, and even some kind of a process scrap, plastic laminate, etc. As per the uh, plastic waste rules, then some kind of a hazardous waste like used oil, some kind of a machinery waste or metal waste, wooden waste. So lot of type of scraps is generated according to which you should have a scrapyard. Even the effluent treatment plant will be generating some kind of a sludge for which also you should make the scrapyards. Then you should have a vehicle parking. So the various kind of vehicles can be car parking or bicycle parking, cycle parking, and then you need to make the parking for commercial vehicles like trucks, etc., which will be coming to your factory. So you should make a parking space for those trucks which are bringing the metal for you and which are taking away your finished goods. So you need to have a parking space for all of them. Then you should make a server room. So generally the server room is made within the administrative office itself. So this is required for supporting your information technology, internet, and all other related stuff. So for that you need to make a server room. Then you need to have a CCTV room. Nowadays it is very common to install CCTV even in your homes also and even inside the factories also. So you should have a CCTV room where you can have a surveillance room where one person will be sitting and observing all the CCTV for any abnormal activities inside the factory. Then you can have a laundry room where you will be washing the uniform etc. of people. So you should have a laundry room. Then you will be having a workshop where you will be doing the repairing of your various equipment, machines, and some of the modifications, kaizens, improvements which you will be doing in your workshop. So this workshop can have equipments like drilling equipment, lathe equipment, drilling machines, welding machines, etc. inside the workshop. Then you will be having an engineering store where you will be maintaining all the spare parts of your machinery. So engineering store is also very important component of a factory, and you should have a security room right at the entrance of your factory where the security team will be checking each and everything before they allow anybody inside the factory, including people as well as vehicle. So you should have a proper security room, including the CCTV cameras and computer screens for making the gate pass, etc., making the visitor pass, etc. So a lot of activities need to be performed by the security people. Then the next component is OHC, which is Occupational Health Center. So this is also as per the Factories Act requirement. It is mandatory in few cases. So all these requirements, where which component is applicable or mandatory, those things we'll be discussing in our upcoming sessions, where we will be discussing that this requirement is coming from either Factories Act or National Building Code or any other act. So these requirements are actually governed by different legal requirements. So OHC is Occupational Health Center, where you will be making where one medical practitioner will be sitting in all the three shifts, and who will be available in case of any first aid injuries or any mishappening or any other kind of a health related problem. Then workers can go and they can take consultancy from this medical practitioner who is sitting in the OHC. Then there is a requirement of scratch also in some cases. So these scratches need to be made where if the ladies are working in your factory, then they can drop their small children in the crèche. So there has to be a child attendant, there has to be toys, there has to be a feeding room, there has to be arrangement for some of the arrangement for some food stuff which can be provided to these children of these ladies who are working in the factory. So all these arrangements need to be done. So now we will be seeing an example of a factory and various components which we have discussed. So this is a video of Hero Cycles recently constructed factory, and this is constructed by Midas projects, and they have uploaded this video on LinkedIn. So courtesy to them, I'm using this video to explain you some of the components of a factory which we have discussed in the previous slides. So let's start. So here you can see in this view, yeah, in this view we can see on this side a lot of these things are called the loading unloading bays. Big shutters are there, so truck can come here, it can park here easily in the reverse direction, and then the trucks can be loaded and unloaded. So this looks like a warehouse or a production hall. So let's see the remaining components. So this is all the loading unloading bays, more loading unloading bays, more loading unloading bays. So on this side you can see these AHUs have been placed, which are required to, these are the AHUs. So these AHUs are required to provide the fresh air inside the factory. Yeah, this is the AHU I was talking about, air handling unit. As you can see, this is placed outside and there is no dedicated AHU room. So that also you can do. And here you can see the ducts are provided for sending the fresh air inside the production hall or the warehouse, whatever it is. Yeah, so this factory looks beautiful, neatly constructed, design is very good, color scheme is very good. This is the top view of the factory, and you can see right now in this view we can see the complete production hall and the warehouse, etc. So this is this much area, and on this side you will be seeing the utilities. So that generally the utility block is made separately from the production or warehouse, so that it does not interfere with the production hall or the warehouse. Yeah, on this side you can see the utility block was there. So here you can see the AHU much closer view is there. Yeah, on your left hand side, right hand side was the building, yeah, utility building. So here you can see this is a water treatment plant where they might be having the software system, RO system, etc. And adjacent to that is the pump house, fire pump room, where you can see all these pumps are there, always standby, always maintaining the pressure in the pipeline. This is another utility area. This looks like a wastewater treatment plant, and this looks like a zero liquid discharge plant, where they will be first passing the wastewater after treatment, first through the RO membranes, and then they will be evaporating the complete wastewater. So this looks like a zero liquid discharge. Looking at the components, yeah. So let's look at it in more detail. Yeah, these are the RO membranes, RO system, then the dosing tanks where they will be doing some kind of chemical dosing. This is a pathway between the two buildings, maybe production building and warehouse, something like this. So this is the top view. This is again AHUs and the utility block shown once again. So here you can see this is the generator set as we were discussing. Just a minute. Yeah, so this is the generator set. As we can see, this is a Sudhir or Cummins make-off generator set, and this is the exhaust pipe which is connected to the chimney. So this chimney is generally a 30-meter long chimney which is connected here. This is going to the top. So this is a very good view. We can see the production block, warehouse, etc. And this side we have the utilities, etc. Yeah. So let's look at more components of this building. These are again AHUs shown in more detail. More AHUs, more AHUs, more fresh air supply. Okay, so this is another important component. So this is the transformer yard. You can see there is also a special design for the transformer yard. This is open type of transformer which they have kept, and there are indoor type of transformers are also available. So here they have used the outside type of open type of transformer. Then we were talking about the bulk storage tanks. So here they will not be requiring all those bulk storage for raw materials, but yes, they have made this bulk storage tank for argon gas because they might be requiring it for welding, uh, and that's why they have constructed a argon storage tank itself. So this is also having a very special design, and you need to take special licenses for storing these kind of gases at high pressure. So this license is provided by the explosives department, and you need to have all these precautions which I mentioned here, like no smoking, no admittance, no parking, etc., etc. So yeah, these all these legal requirements also we will be discussing in our upcoming sessions. So that's it. So this was the complete overview about the various parts of a factory, and we have also used a video to understand this in detail. So stay connected with us for getting more such kind of useful videos. So in case if you like it, then please share it, subscribe our channel, and also make good comments in the comment section below. So thank you. Thanks for your time.